Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the behavior of liquid. See, for that purpose we are already taken here a glass container. So this one is the glass container, and in that container we are considering water. So obviously water consists of water molecules. So see, out of all water molecules we are considering only three water molecules: A, B and C molecules. These three water molecules, they are situated at different positions. See, first water molecule is A molecule, which is completely inside the liquid. I told you, if we want to represent a molecule, so some students put a dot, but this is totally wrong. If you have to represent water molecule or any molecule, then you can put a dot and draw one circle or a sphere around that dot. So this is the complete symbol for molecule. So such symbols we are using here for A, B and C water molecules. See here, out of these three water molecules, A molecule is completely inside the liquid. So that's why around this water molecule there are a number of water molecules around the A molecules, and obviously between two molecules of same substance there is a intermolecular force of attraction. And what is the name of that intermolecular force of attraction? It is cohesive force. So cohesive force is present in between molecule A and the molecules around itself. So due to this, these A molecule is attracted equally in all directions. Therefore, whatever will be the resultant force acting on molecule a resultant force acting on A molecule must be 0. Why the resultant force is 0 here? Because this A molecule attracted equally in all directions. So therefore resultant force will be 0 here. Now consider second point. That second point is for B molecule. This first point is for A molecule. Now we are discussing about the second point for B molecule. See here, this B molecule is present below the surface of water, but the sphere of influence of molecule B is in air medium also, and below the surface, that is water medium, or we can say liquid medium. Now the minor part of sphere of influence of molecule B in air medium and major part of the sphere of influence of molecule B in liquid molecule. So therefore we can say below the surface, water surface, there are number of water molecules, and in the minor part of sphere of influence there are air molecules, and we know air molecules always separated from each other. They are far away from each other. But water molecule is not far away from each other, they are closely bounded to each other. So in this case, two types of force are there. One force between molecule B, which is from water molecule, and air molecules, means there is adhesive force, that is the force of attraction between two molecules of different substance, that is water molecule and air molecule. And another force is there, that is cohesive force. So these two forces are acting on molecule B. So which force is greater than which force here? The question may be arise. So see here, number of water molecules are maximum. Okay, so that's why cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. So the cohesive force is greater than the adhesive force. So therefore, the resultant force acting in a downward direction. So this is the force direction of resultant force. Now let us consider about third gas liquid molecule, that is C molecule. Now this C molecule having its sphere of influence, so half of sphere of influence in air molecule, in air medium, or half of C molecule, sphere of influence of C molecule in water. See here, these two molecules, they are at different positions. Here at point or we can say molecule second, only small sphere of influence is present in the air, but at molecule C, half sphere of influence present in the air. So position of B and position of C are quite different. Just concentrate on these two molecules. They are quietly situated at different positions. See, we know air molecules are separated from each other. They are always away from each other. And the water molecules, they are very closely to each other. So obviously we conclude that the number of water molecules are maximum. So that's why cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. So in case of C molecule, we can conclude that cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. Therefore, the resultant force acting in downward. So whatever may be the direction of resultant force, it is in downward. Why in both cases resultant force in downward direction? Because in both cases, which force is greater? Cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. Here resultant force is obviously 0 because it is attracted equally in equal directions. Now see here, if we want to increase the surface area of the liquid, then we have to bring the water molecules in upward direction. So that's why due to this, the potential energy, or we can say the surface area of water, increases. Now if we want to bring these water molecules in upward direction, so in short there is a work done, because these molecules, we have to bring this molecule and put at the surface. So while work done is there, so the direction of work done, you can concentrate on this line. the direction of work done is vertically upward. Why the direction of work is vertically upward? Because we have to put these liquid molecule at the surface of water. Why? Because we have to increase the surface area of the water. Now the direction of work done and the direction of resultant force, they exactly opposite to each other. So whatever may be the work done is there, whatever may be the work done is there, that work done upon the surface area of the water. This concept is known as surface energy. So here we get a new concept, that is surface energy. So in short surface energy means what? So surface energy means what? Whatever may be the work done, that work done divided by the area of water surface, that is the surface energy. And we know this work done is always in the form of potential energy. So that's why we are writing here, instead of work, potential energy upon surface area of water, that is also called as surface energy. Now here we have two formulas to find the surface energy. One, that is surface energy, and this surface energy represented by delta. So it is represented by delta. So surface energy is exactly equal to work done per unit area, or we can write the surface energy is exactly equal to potential energy per unit area. So this is the new concept related to the surface tension. So before going towards that, we should know the surface energy means what. And according to these articles, we conclude that surface energy nothing but just it is a work done per unit area, or we can say potential energy per unit area. Now the SI unit of surface energy. What will be the SI unit of surface energy? Because work, it is measured in joule, and area, it is measured in meter square. So that's why the SI unit for surface energy is joule per meter square. Let us talk about surface tension. So this is the phenomenon of liquid. So for that purpose, just you are considering here a water surface. This is the upper surface of water, and if we divide this water surface into two parts like that, see here, suppose I draw a line here, and this is the line, that line is supposed to be AB. So this line divides this surface into two parts. One is upper surface, so this one is upper surface, this one is lower surface. Now see that the upper surface attracts toward lower surface, we know obviously, and lower surface also attracts to the upper surface, because in between any two objects there is force of attraction according to the Newton. So Newton concludes that in any two objects there is a force of attraction. So that's why each and every object attracts to each other. So therefore upper part attracts to the lower parts. At the same time lower parts also attracts upper part. So they are exerting a force. So this one is the force exerted by upper parts, and this one is the force exerted by the lower part of the surface. Now this force acting on the line, while it is acting on the line, then the direction of force must be perpendicular to the line. So here becomes angle 90 degree. So that's why the direction of force is perpendicular to the line AB. So according to this, we can say that whatever may be the force acting on an imaginary line, of length L is called surface tension. So according to this, we can say that surface tension means what? So surface tension is exactly equal to the force per unit length. So this is the force per unit length. The force per unit length we can represent like this. So to calculate the surface tension, we get here one new formula, that is force upon length, that is force per unit length. So the SI unit of this surface tension is surface tension. So this force, it is measured in Newton per length is measured in meter. So Newton per meter, that is the SI unit for surface tension. And for CGS unit, instead of Newton, we have to use here dyne, because we know Newton for SI unit and dyne for CGS unit. So therefore dyne per meter centimeter, instead of meter we can use here centimeters. So CGS unit for surface tension is dyne per centimeter. Let us calculate the dimension of, so the dimension of surface tension. Dimension of surface tension. So to calculate the dimension of any physical quantity, first of all we should know its formula. So the surface tension has its formula, force upon length, and we know the dimension of force, that is m to the power 1, l to the power 1, t to the power minus 2, and the dimension for length, that is l to the power 1. So here it becomes m to the power 1, this m to the power 1 becomes minus 1, so 1 minus 1 becomes l to the power 0, and t to the power minus 2 is as it is. So this one is the dimension of surface tension. Okay. Hello students, if you like my videos, then please subscribe my channel. So if you any doubt related to physics, so you can comment me and I will try to solve it. So whenever I upload any video, then my language is very lucid, very simple language is there, you can easily understood.